Hi everyone, how are you doing? Mr Ross here with another presentation. This is my third presentation and it's on vocabulary. Hope you like it. I'm going to talk about learning vocabulary, what the problems are and how you can solve these problems. Here are my cards, by the way. Problem number one, there's so much of it. There's so much vocabulary that you could never ever learn it all. Don't even try. So you think that you don't know any vocabulary, but you do. You know a lot of vocabulary. I think the solution to this problem is you have to learn what you need. What you need depends on what you need it for. In our case, it's for a test. So learn the vocabulary that you need for a test. You can do this, for example, by dividing the vocabulary up into vocabulary areas. My job, my studies, my hobbies, my free time, whatever it is, divide your interests or the things that you need to say up into areas and learn the vocab for it. And by the way, Mr Tushinsky has an excellent vocabulary training class, as far as I know, in which he does this with the students. So if you get a chance, please go to that class. Problem number two. I think the second problem is context. It's very difficult to know which word to use in a particular context. I think the solution to this problem is to learn the context. Sounds silly, but stupid maybe, but it's effective. And to learn the context you need a good dictionary, for example a collocations dictionary, which will give you the context for the words that you're looking up. Or of course you could use Lingue on the internet or Dict.cc or anything really. Basically learn the context. The third problem I'd like to talk about is interference. What I mean by that is how one language interferes with your vocabulary in another language. I think the obvious solution to this is you have to learn your mistakes. Find out what's wrong. I will tell you, or someone else will tell you, or you'll know yourself, and learn from those mistakes. For example, you should all now know that you can't write an exam in English. You can in German, but not in English. So you have to learn that that's wrong, and then you have to learn the correct version, which is take an exam or do an exam. The last problem I'd like to talk about is remembering vocabulary. How do you remember it? There's so much of it and you've got so much context to learn. How can you remember it? Well, I think there are two possible solutions. One is that you've got a very good memory. Good for you. I haven't. So the other solution, I think, for most people would be to activate it, to use that vocabulary in some way. For example, put it in your presentation in class. Use it at Stammtisch, use it when you're talking to people in English and see if it works. In conclusion, I think that what you need to do with vocabulary is learn the words that you need. That's the way that you can limit it. You need to learn those words in advance and make sure that you know how to pronounce them, make sure you know the context. And to do that, I think you need to practice those words in some way, by giving presentations, by talking to someone, any way you like, using the internet, I don't know. You can choose your own way of learning them, but basically you have to learn them by practicing them. In the test, in particular, I think it's a good idea to stay within your vocabulary comfort zone. That means that you don't start using new words. Make sure you know all the words that you need in advance. Last but not least, remember that you never stop learning vocabulary. You'll be learning it in your own language and in English for the rest of your lives, like me and everyone else. And don't try to learn too much too quickly, or as we say in English, remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.